everybody, welcome to this video. Here we are going to talk about a famous theorem which is Cayley-Hamilton theorem, and it is widely used in linear algebra. You must have heard this particular theorem many number of times. So this particular theorem is due to Arthur Cayley, who was a British mathematician of 19th century, and William Hamilton. He was an Irish mathematician, he was also a physicist, and he was also involved in astronomy. Okay, so let us see what this theorem is. The statement is very simple and the proof is like further simpler. So let us write down the statement of Cayley-Hamilton theorem. So name obviously is from the these last names of the two mathematicians who proved this theorem. So the statement of Cayley-Hamilton theorem is, I'm writing a simpler statement. So it says that every square matrix A satisfies its characteristic equation. Right. So let us prove this thing. We already know that what is the characteristic equation of a matrix, square matrix A. So let us prove this thing. So we know that characteristic equation of a square matrix A is determinant of lambda I minus A equal to 0, right? So this is the characteristic equation of a matrix A. Now this is your choice. You can write it as A minus lambda I also. Doesn't make any difference because on the right hand side you have a 0. So you can write it as lambda I minus A or A minus lambda I. This is your choice. So this is the characteristic equation of a square matrix A. So let us prove that the matrix A actually satisfies this equation, right? So now you see, what is this? This is actually a polynomial of degree n. We know that if A is of size n cross n, then the characteristic polynomial is a polynomial of degree n. So I can write this left hand side as, and also the leading term will be lambda raised to power n. So it is unique because you have identity here. So this will look like lambda raised to power n plus some constant. This is a scalar from the field. This is a scalar from the field k. Suppose our field is k or f. We can write our field as f. F is the field over which we have taken our matrix. So this is a scalar from the field f, lambda raised to power n minus 1, plus another scalar a n minus 2, lambda raised to power n minus 2, plus so on, and at last you have a1, which is another scalar, into lambda plus a naught, which is a constant, equal to 0. So you can write the characteristic equation like this. Now we need to prove that the matrix A satisfies this characteristic equation. So to prove is that matrix A satisfies star. Matrix A satisfies star. That is, you want to prove A raised to power n plus a n minus 1, a raised to power n minus 1 plus a n minus 2, a raised to power n minus 2. You see, this equation is in lambda. So we want to replace lambda with the matrix A, and so on, a1a, and because this is a scalar, so you will multiply with an identity matrix of size same as the size of A. So this is what you are seeking to prove. This is what you want to prove, right? So let us do prove it. Okay. So for this particular proof, what I am going to do, I am going to tell you that suppose this you have this thing, determinant of your lambda I minus a, right? So this is what like we want to look at. So we can connect it with a adjoint operator. Can we do that? The answer is yes. Not the adjoint operator, adjoint of the matrix. So we know that A, given a matrix B, given a matrix, let me write down because B I am using for something else. Given a matrix C, we know that C inverse is adjoint of C divided by determinant of C. This is what you already know, right? So from here you get that adjoint of C into, this is a matrix, this is n cross n matrix, into C, if I bring it on the other side, is equal to determinant of C into identity matrix. This is the number. Is that thing clear? So this is the result we already have. Right. So we can write it here that determinant of lambda I minus A into identity, right, is equal to, I'm using this, determinant of a matrix into identity is equal to adjoint of that matrix lambda I minus A into that particular matrix lambda I minus A. Is that thing clear? So I'm using this result, use this result to write this thing. I hope this thing is clear, and in a moment you will come to know why I am doing so. So you have this result that adjoint of C into C is equal to determinant of C into identity matrix. So here in place of C I am writing this lambda I minus A into identity matrix is equal to adjoint of lambda I minus A into lambda I minus A. Now let us see what is this matrix. Adjoint of lambda I minus A. What is this matrix? Can you tell me what is this matrix? So you see, this is actually adjoint of what you have done. You have written like this. You suppose this is your n cross n matrix. A is n cross n matrix. So this is lambda minus A1 1, lambda minus A2 2, and so on, lambda minus A n and other entries here. Right. Now you know that when you compute the adjoint matrix, what you do for the first element, you will leave this row and this column, and then you will find the determinant of the smaller matrix, that is n minus 1 cross n minus 1 matrix. Right. Now when you find the determinant of this particular matrix, so there are n minus 1 these terms, lambda minus A2 2, lambda minus A3 3, lambda minus A and n. So this will be the determinant of this thing, will be determinant of this smaller matrix is a polynomial of degree n minus 1 in lambda, because there is this lambda. So the determinant is going to be a polynomial, and that will be a polynomial of degree n minus 1. Right. So it means that the adjoint matrix will be having at every place polynomials of degree n minus 1. So these are polynomials, of degree n minus 1, polynomials in lambda. The variable is lambda. So it means that this particular matrix here, adjoint of lambda I minus A, so I can write adjoint of lambda I minus A, I can write it as, you see, every term is a polynomial of degree n minus 1. So I have, what I can do, I'll just give you an example. Suppose this is 2 cross 2. So then you have, the first thing is a polynomial of degree n minus 1 in lambda. So it is something like b1, right, b11 lambda raised to power n minus 1 plus b12 lambda raised to power n minus 2, and so on, b1n, okay, and then similarly second term, similarly third term, similarly fourth term. So what I can do, I can separate all the powers of n minus 1, lambda n minus 1, plus all the powers of n minus 2, and so on, right. At the end you will get a constant matrix. So these are matrices. What is the size of matrix? The same size, because the size is n cross n. So this is an n cross n matrix, with entries from your field, from F. Why? Because these are from the field, b11, v12, v1n, these are all from the field. So I can call it as this, I can write it as bn minus 1. This matrix I am calling it as bn minus 1, lambda raised to power n minus 1, plus I am calling this matrix as bn minus 2, lambda raised to power n minus 2, and so on. The last matrix I am calling as, before that I'll get something into lambda, so I am calling that as b1t plus b0. So this is my adjoint of lambda I minus A. Is that thing clear? Now I am again writing that result, that lambda, I am using the variable lambda. So lambda I minus a into determinant of lambda I minus a is equal to adjoint of lambda I minus a into lambda I minus a. So this is the result I already have. Okay, so this is from here. I'm sorry, there is a mistake. This is from here, this result is from here. So in here you have identity matrix, here you have identity matrix. Is that clear? Now let us compute this thing, right? So what is this thing? This I am writing as, right hand side I am computing, I am writing as bn minus 1 lambda raised to power n minus 1 plus bn minus 2 lambda raised to power n minus 2 and so on, b1 lambda plus b naught into lambda I minus a, right? So this is equal to, you are saying, determinant of lambda I minus a into identity matrix. Now what is this determinant of lambda I minus a? In the beginning we assumed this was your polynomial, characteristic polynomial, and you assumed it equal to this, right? Lambda naught, lambda raised to power n. So this is lambda raised to power n plus an minus 1 lambda raised to power n minus 1 plus an minus 2 lambda raised to power n minus 2 and so on. You had here a1 lambda plus a naught. Fine. So this is your left hand side, right hand side, this is your left hand side, right? So you got these things. So what you can do now, you just compare the coefficient. On the left hand side you see what is the coefficient of lambda raised to power n. So now we are comparing the coefficients. On the left hand side, coefficient of lambda raised to power n. Here you see, when you multiply bn minus 1 with this identity, you will get lambda raised to power n, right? So you will get bn minus 1 is equal to, on the right hand side the coefficient is identity because you have this identity matrix here. So on the right hand side you have identity. Now you compare the coefficient of lambda n minus 1. So that will be when you multiply this with this. So you get, and also this with this. So you get bn minus 2 and the another term is bn minus 1 into a with a negative sign. Bn minus 1 into a, and on the right hand side you will get an minus 1, right? Now next you compare the coefficient of lambda n minus 2, that you will get similarly bn minus 3 minus bn minus 2a is equal to an minus 2, and you keep on doing this. When you compare the coefficient of lambda, you will get b naught minus b1a is equal to a1, and when you compare the coefficient of lambda raised to power 0, that is constant coefficient, you will get an identity with each because these are matrices, right? And on the right hand side you have identity. When you compare the constant thing, you will get minus b naught a is equal to a naught I, right? So this is what you got. Now you see what you want to prove. Now bring into your mind what you want to prove. So you know that we want to prove that a satisfies this equation, that a raised to power n plus an minus 1 a raised to power n minus 1 and so on, a1 a plus a naught I equal to 0. This is what you want to prove. So somehow can you get it? If you multiply the first equation with a raised to power n, second equation with a raised to power n minus 1, so this is what you will get for the first term, for the second term, and the third term you multiply with a raised to power n minus 2, this term you multiply with a, this is you multiply with identity. So if you multiply these equations by these terms and add, first you multiply, what you will get, let us see what we'll get. We'll get, you multiply from right hand side, so you'll get bn minus 1 an is equal to an. Now you multiply the second term, you will get bn minus 2 an minus 1 minus bn minus 1 a raised to power n is equal to an minus 1 a raised to power n minus 1. So what will be your third term? Third term will be bn minus 3 an minus 2 minus bn minus 2 an minus 1 is equal to an minus 2 an minus 2, and so on. At the this term will give you b naught a minus b1 a square is equal to a1 a, and the last will give you minus b naught a is equal to a naught I. Now can you see, if you add, what will happen? You see, this term will be cancelled with this term. This particular term here will be cancelled with this term, right? And this term will be cancelled with this term with this term, this term with this term. So if you add, on the left hand side you will have 0, and on the right hand side you will have a raised to power n plus an minus 1 a raised to power n minus 1 plus an minus 2 a raised to power n minus 2, and so on, a1a plus a naught I. So this is the result which you will get. So this implies that matrix A satisfies its characteristic equation. Fine. Now let us look at an example. I'll give you an example, very simple example. You can take any matrix which is a square matrix. You can always prove that it satisfies its characteristic equation. Suppose you take a matrix 1 3 5 7. So what will be its characteristic equation? That will be determinant of lambda I minus a is equal to 0. So you do this. This will be lambda minus 1 minus 3 minus 5 lambda minus 7 equal to 0. So this is lambda minus 1 lambda minus 7 minus 15 is equal to 0. So this is lambda square minus 8 lambda plus 7 minus 15 is equal to 0. So this is lambda square minus 8 lambda minus 8 equal to 0. So this is the characteristic equation of the polynomial of the matrix. Now you want to prove, to Cayley-Hamilton theorem says that if you put a here, so that is a square minus 8a minus 8 identity should be 0. So let us verify this thing. Right, so your A matrix here is 1 3 5 7. So what will be your A square? That will be 1 3 5 7 1 3 5 7. So this is equal to A square. If you compute, this will be 16 24 40 64, and then you put it here. So you have a square 16 24 40 64 minus 8 a is your, again the matrix 1 3 5 7 minus 8 identity, that is 1 0 0 0 0 1. Now you compute the term 16 minus 8 minus 8. So first term is 0. Second term 24 here minus 24 here, 0 here. So this is 0. Third term 40 minus 40, 0 here. So 0. The fourth term 64 minus 8 sevens are 56 minus 8. So that is 64. So this is 0. Right. So you get that this obviously is a 0 matrix, right? Because we are talking about matrices. So it means that we verified that the matrix A satisfies its characteristic equation. So now this Cayley-Hamilton theorem is very useful, because for example if I give you this a square minus 8i minus 8a minus 8i equal to 0. So you see, you can easily compute A inverse. How? If you multiply it with A inverse, so what you will get? You will get A inverse into A square minus 8 A inverse into A minus 8 A inverse identity equal to 0. So you will get A, this will be A minus 8 identity is equal to 8 A inverse. So A inverse will be 1 by 8 A minus 8i. So this is one of the application. It will save you from many calculations, and also you get a polynomial equation which is being satisfied by your matrix A, and you can do all kinds of things with that particular equation in your hand. So Cayley-Hamilton theorem, we will see later on, is quite useful, and already we have seen many uses of Cauchy-Milton theorem in our last videos. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching our video. Please do share and subscribe, and also you can join our channel for paid membership. We have three plans, 59, 89 and 119, right? For this you have these three live sessions in a month, and for this you have three live sessions plus one video of your own choice. You can send us the topic, and we will create a video in a week and we will send you back, or we'll upload on our channel. And plus in this 119 you will have your own PDF notes for a particular playlist. You can go into the join button, you can click the button and you will have detailed information about that, right? And this money, this will not only help you, but it will also help us to create this quality mathematics content for everybody, right? So we are creating these videos for free, and we want that everybody should have a quality mathematics education. So whatever you are contributing, it is kind of donation also. It will be, it will help us in scaling up our channel for more videos, and we will try to cover as much as topics as possible. Thank you for your support. Please share this video and keep supporting. Thank you.